Romanian lover! In this video, we will see how you can start and continue a conversation with a Romanian, with your partner's family, with your colleagues at work, with other students in the university and stuff like that. I'm gonna give you 5 tips that you can use in order to improve your conversational skills in Romanian. Mind you, these tips work as long as you know a minimum of words and grammar rules in Romanian. When you talk to someone, when you talk about them, you will have verbal forms that end either in I, the Romanian I, or in ți. Ce faci în weekend? Or ce faceți în weekend? Faci, faceți come from the verb a face, to do or to make. If we use this I, it means that we are talking to you singular, to you in an informal environment. It means that you are talking with friends, with family members, with someone you are close to. If we have verbal forms that end in ți, it can mean 2 things. One, that you are talking to one person, but in a formal context, or that you are talking to several people, both in a formal and informal context. Another example. Unde lucrezi? Or unde lucrați? The form lucrezi, again, is used when you talk to one person in an informal environment, and the form that ends in ți can be used when you talk to one person in a formal environment or to several people in both a formal and an informal environment. The same here. Ce crezi despre asta? Or ce credeți despre asta? Crezi ends in I, so one person informal. Credeți ends in ți, so one person, a person formal, or several people in both a formal and an informal environment. By the way, we have a private Telegram group in which every Sunday we analyze a Romanian verb in the present. We look at its endings, at its forms. I'm giving my community all the tips they need to know about each Romanian verb, tips that you won't find in books because these are tips that are based on my experience with students, with my experience in all these years. If you're interested in knowing more about Romanian verbs, about Romanian in general, please join our community. You can find a link below this video. Another tip is related to să. Să in grammar is a conjunction. Să is for us a magic word. Why is it magic? Because it helps us make longer sentences. I know you want to make longer sentences in Romanian. We can use să in several cases. Many times we use să when we have 2 verbs so close one to the other. Let me give you some examples. Știu. Nu ai chef să mergi la muncă. Let's spot the verbs in this sentence. I, which comes from the verb a avea, and mergi, which comes from the verb a merge. You can see that ai and mergi are very close one to the other, so in the middle we place this magic word să. This is like the English to, when you say I want to go, that to there, between the verbs want and go. In this case, in English, you have the verb feel, and then going, but you don't say you don't feel to go. You say you don't feel like going because of to feel like, which requires the use of an ing form. However, in Romanian, we use să because we have two verbs very close to each other. The same here. Vrei să bei ceai sau cafea? Let's see the verbs. Vrei, one of them, and bei. We have vrei, bei, two verbs very close to each other, so we place să between them. Do you want to drink? Here you can see this very clearly in English. Vrei să bei, we have EE, so this is for one person in an informal situation. Here we have vreți să beți ceai sau cafea? Vreți, one verb, beți, another verb, very close to each other, so we place between the two. In English, the translation is the same. Here we have ți, not just e, so these forms, this question is for either for one person in a formal environment or for several people in both a formal and informal environment. The third thing I want you to have in mind is to avoid using eu, tu, el, ea, noi, voi, ei, ele. There are cases when we use these personal pronouns, they are called personal pronouns, but most of the times you won't need them. So create this habit of deleting them, of leaving them out from your speech. Tu vrei să bei ceai sau cafea? This is a correct sentence, a correct question, but in a very specific situation. Most of the time, during your interactions with Romanians or in Romanian, you might need to say something like vrei să bei ceai sau cafea? Another example. Dumneavoastră ce preferați? Again, this is a correct question. We might ask this in Romanian, but in very specific situation that we won't talk about now. So for most of your interactions, you don't need to use these words or dumneavoastră, the formal word, when you talk to one person or several people. You can say ce preferați? Or here, voi ce faceți în weekend? This is correct, but most of the time we will most likely say ce faceți în weekend without voi. The fourth thing I want you to have in mind are these WH words. We have them too in Romanian. Most of the time we start with the Romanian k, the sound with which my name starts, the k sound in Corina. Când ajunge Ana? Când means when. Ce vreți să facem în weekend? Ce means what. You can see that both the English and the Romanian questions start with these words. Când, when, ce, what. You can also say something or ask something like, la ce restaurant mergem? Or, cu cine mergem la film? Now, look at these two Romanian questions and then at these two English translations and tell me one thing that you notice, one difference between Romanian and English. I will help you. I will give you some visual aid. We have la ce in Romanian. So, ce is what? But in this case, ce is which. And then tu, in this case, is la. And here we have cine, which is who, and cu, which is with. So what's the difference between Romanian and English? The word order. We talked about word order in a previous video. Go and check it. In Romanian we say la ce restaurant mergem. To which restaurant we are going. This is how it sounds like in Romanian. In English, you put to, the Romanian for la, at the end, but we attach to the main WH word and we place it before this WH k word, la ce, at which. And here you can see more clearly. Cine is who, cu is with. In English you say who, with. In Romanian we say with who, cu cine. So we have a different way of starting our questions. So if you compare these Romanian questions to the English questions, you will see differences. But if you are a native Spanish speaker, you are lucky because in Spanish and in Romanian we have the same word order. The fifth and last thing I want to keep in mind is the following. The language for the eyes and the language for the ears are different. When we speak, we want to use, posh words, complex structures, complex grammar, a lot of connectors. The thing is that it's very difficult for the ears to process these types of texts. For the ears, you have to make things not so complex. They have to be simpler. They have to be easier. When you have a written text in front of you, you can reread it. You can underline parts in this text. You can read it at your own speed. You can do it out loud or just for yourself. But when you hear something, the ears don't have time. They are not able to process information which is so complex. Therefore, when you speak Romanian, when you speak your own language, use simple words, use simple structures, pause more often. This way, your message is more likely to reach people's minds, people's hearts. Always try to be clear and concise. This idea with the language for the eyes and the language for the ears is something that I found in this amazing book written by Teodora Mețiu, Unfortunately, this book is in Romanian, but if you have the opportunity to get this book and to translate it into your own language, read that book. It's very easy to read. It will help you improve your perception about your own language. Thank you for watching until the end. Make sure you join our private community of Romanian lovers and Romanian learners, and I see you next time. Bye!